Welcome, everybody, to MarkWHO77. That's right, MarkWHO77, the show that talks all about British comic creators and creations dealing with 77 publishing. My name is Mark Baumgarten. With me today are Vicky Jakubowski and our special co-host today, Jo Heeley. Hi, Jo.
Hiya, how you doing?
Well, except for the back, I'm doing great. Yes, I
Yeah.
must complain at least once every episode about my back. Ouch. No, I woke up. This was not a good morning for me, on steroids now. And I'm glad that all you listeners and watchers out there got to find out that little piece of information about me that really didn't need to be said. Vicky, what's been up with you?
Same old, working too much, crazy life, and just, now I'm ready for it to not be 100 degrees.
Here too, here too. Yeah, and that brings up weather.
Yes.
107 heat index. What's it by you, Jo?
It's been sultry.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had the aircon on. If you remember last time I was on, I was bemoaning the fact that I'd bought an air conditioner and then never had to use
Yes.
it.
Well, now you do.
So yeah, it's been warm, but probably only about 24, 25. Obviously, further up the country, it's been a lot hotter. I think
Yeah.
some places have been getting 30 degrees. I'm quite glad we don't get that down here.
Oh, I wish I
Touch
was
wood.
like that. Yeah, touch wood, definitely touch wood. And speaking touch wood, that's kind of like a supernatural kind of thing. And if you notice on the
Mm.
credits, this is the Penny Pentagram special. Woo! And there's a special book, 4-issue series coming out, isn't there, Jo?
Indeed, we have got an amazing quartet of comics for Penny Pentagram. It's going to, in the UK, it's going to be under Pandora Presents because Penny moved from the 77 and the annual over to Pandora, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously because of life, because of things, Pandora 2 hasn't uh, appeared.
Yeah,
But what we really wanted to do was get Penny out there and out to the readers who, if I'm quite honest, she's a firm fan favourite. And
definitely,
I
definitely.
I approached David and Andy and asked if they would be, if there was any way they'd consider this sort of like standalone comic.
Mm-hmm.
And to my surprise, I said, yeah, because we're writing one at the moment. So all the cogs fell into place. So the other really sort of exciting thing about this project is it's not just the first standalone project. It's also going to be in US comic book format size.
Yeah.
So we're going down. We're thinning down a little. So it's not going to be your usual big stonking 77 comic where you can certainly have a siesta with the comic over your face. Um, it's certainly going to be what I would consider like a handbag size. You can
Hmm.
quite easily put in your bag on the train, or if you're catching a bus somewhere, and catch up with the stories of Penny.
Oh, that's great. It is wonderful that this is happening. Before we move on, I want to let everyone know if you enjoy this, or even if you don't enjoy us, please subscribe and hit like below. We definitely want you to do that. 77 publications, 77 publishing, all one thing now. Okay, why don't we bring on or just about to bring on our guest. Jo, can you introduce them?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got David Thomas, the writer of Penny Pentagram. He's based in Wales, and we also have Andy Richmond, who's based in Bath. He
Hmm.
has been on MarkWHO77 a few
And
times,
four and
actually.
42. He's been on
A-
42 and 77. Yeah.
Absolutely, and he created that wonderful advert
Hmm.
for you and Vicky.
Yeah.
So Andy's on the art duties for this one, and he's also my art editor for
Okay.
the comic.
All right. Well, we're going to bring them out, but right before we bring them out, let's watch this video, a little presentation about the new comic Penny Pentagram, or Pandora Presents Penny Pentagram. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, and let's introduce the people responsible for what Penny Pentagram is. We did introduce them, Andrew and David. Hey, guys. Okay, so I'm glad you guys are here. I love Penny Pentagram. I've loved her in the 77. I've loved her in Pandora. I'll get to what I also liked her in. But I want to start the show. Now, we always start the show with the hardest question. You know that, right, Vicky? We always start with the hardest question.
Sure.
Yeah. And, so I was going to ask the hardest question, but, then I realized, what? Jo and Andrew have already faced the hardest question. So I think we're not going to ask them that question. We may ask them about something else, but we're not going to ask them that question. This question is down to David. David, are you ready for the hardest question? This is the question that it's hard. Get it out of the way, and then everything else is easy. Okay?
Okay, I like the sound of that.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Here it is. This ready? Yeah, here we go. Okay, here we go. Who is David Thomas?
Oh, who's David Thomas?
Hardest question.
That's a psychological question. Who is David? David Thomas is a guy who writes the Penny Pentagram.
We start with the existential.
Oh yeah, we go existential. I mean, this is all in part of it. Yeah.
Just a humble guy trying to carve out a career in comics, and trying not to fall flat on his face in the process.
All right.
I don't know how you're supposed to answer that. It's trickier than you think.
Oh no, it is. That's why it's the hard. That's why I always say it's the hard question. Yeah, this stumps people.
I just David Thomas who goes through his days arguing with people sometimes, and sometimes arguing with people.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
Some days he doesn't get himself confused with scripts.
Oops.
Yeah, you shouldn't see that actually.
Oh, okay. That's why we had a close up on it, so we can't see it.
Oh no. I'm a writer who's trying to make a difference, trying to put a new spin on it, a new angle.
Okay.
I'm right. We can. I'm sort of getting my bearings on it. Yeah, I'm a writer who's trying to be honest and write some good stories that hopefully they'll mean something. They'll mean something. I'm trying to do a new form, a narrative. Say that. Yeah, I'm trying to mimic life in comics, and it's not. We'll see. We'll see if it works. Right. I think it might work.
All right.
So
now we now know who David Thomas is. Is that what you're telling us? We now know.
Yeah, and I write comics 8 days a week. 8 days a week.
8 days a week.
8 days a week. I write comics every moment I got my hand. Every moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Excellent. All right, here we go. Now I want to ask Jo and Andrew. I'm not asking them the hard question, but I just want them to introduce themselves a little and give us their background. Jo, why don't you go first?
Thank you. My name's Jo Heeley. I fell down sort of a rabbit hole of comics back in about 2020, supporting my brother with his sort of first comic strips in the 77 comic. I don't know how it happened. I will always say that, but I've stuck around, and I also write comics, and I'm editing Penny Pentagram, this Pandora Presents in the UK, and it will be the 77 Presents in the US. So just to get that clarified, but yeah, I would say I'm Jill of all trades, possibly mistress of none. But what I've learned over the past few years has been invaluable. So yeah, really pleased that we're doing this.
What I like the fact, so if they do the Kickstarter campaign, if they join the Kickstarter campaign, they'll get a Pandora Presents. But then I'm in America. I can buy a different edition. I could have two different, well, plus variants. Wow, wow.
Yeah.
I got some
Multiple
money. I'm
editions.
making some money here in collectibles. Yeah, there you go. Oh, guys, if you want to do the Penny Pentagram Kickstarter campaign, go to Kickstarter.com, type in Penny Pentagram into the lovely little search bar, and you will find it. Okay. Okay. Actually, I have a good question for David. David,
Ooh.
what are your geek creds?
Geek creds.
Yeah, your geek creds.
My geek creds.
You're just mean.
What do you mean by that? I'm hard work sometimes.
What science fiction, what novels, what type of
What
TV,
fantasy?
what stuff do you like?
Things are you
Drama.
a fan
What are you
of?
in?
Well, that's my Alan Moore shelf there.
Oh, and you win the internet. There you go. You win the internet. There you go.
That's my Swamp Thing over there. It's going to get thing.
Ooh.
I once geek thing. I once had a Zoom meeting and Keanu Reeves was in it.
Ah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
That's
good.
He didn't speak to me. He didn't.
Doesn't matter. He was there.
Yes, anything sci-fi, anything. I'm slowly unpacking this because I forgot to read it. That
Ooh.
thing. I
That is
it and missed it.
It's a fantastic
Is it?
fantastic
Really?
piece.
I'm just starting it. I'm just starting it.
The artwork is amazing.
He's one of my all-time heroes. He is. He's sort of, and I've also discovered this guy. I think I showed it the other night.
Yes, yeah, I think you did. Yes.
Oh my days! Yeah. What a comic! What a comic!
I just saw that there's a new Rocketeer series coming.
Yeah, I've seen
this
that
came out. Issue 1, I just think came out this week. Yeah.
I don't buy comics as much as I should, to be honest, because I find that there's comics. We need to get back to like music. We need to get back to a top 40 where everyone agrees on the top 40.
Yeah.
There's too many. It needs to come back. I don't know if you guys had, because Joe will know what I mean here. Okay. Where on the Sunday night it was top of the pops for the top 40. Everyone knew what was a good comic. And I think we're having that problem now. There's so much options, but you're drowning in it. Where before, back in the day, you knew that number one was a good song, but now you can have 20 number ones, and there needs the American market and the UK needs to agree on what's good comics.
Well, yeah,
there's a lot of drowning out music everywhere. There's a lot. Was it Comics Confidential about that Deadskin, the new one? I get that twice a year.
Okay. No,
that's my only link into comics.
Is it really?
Well, Forbidden Planet.
Yeah.
It's hard work. And a comic shop is shut down this week in my own.
Oh wow, that's horrible.
So it's very, as it goes now.
Yeah.
I think the industry needs to agree on a top 40. Like it used to.
Yeah.
We're drowning out in the music of it all. And no one's.
Do you think Penny Pentagram would be in that top 40?
It better be. Yeah. It ain't, it's in 41.
I will put it there for you. I think
there should be. I think there should be like main and indie. There should be two top 40s. What's the main? What's an indie one?
Yeah.
You just kind of know what to look for, because up to now, I'm missing good comics. Everyone is like. We're all missing good films. We're all missing good music because no one's agreeing on what's the top 40.
Yeah.
I think that'll stabilize a lot of stuff because there's good stuff slipping by.
Yeah, I agree.
Good stuff. And it's good comics.
It's funny because I was really into comics along with every other fandom of things that I loved growing up. Comics was one thing that I felt that fell to the wayside. I grew up in military and moved every couple of years. And it just, when I became an adult, it was one of those things that I didn't keep up on
same
buying
here.
comics. I did with films, I did with LPs. Although my LPs were destroyed in a move and I've had to rebuild the collection slowly. Um and actually it was starting to work with the 77 that I've started to get back into comic books. I still love comic books. I still love my characters. I love my superhero movies. I'm a total geek. But it was funny how it was the 77 that got me back into, ooh, I can't wait for the next issue.
Yeah.
And I haven't been like that in probably 30 years. And so and I miss that. And I miss
Same here.
that joy and there's so much out there and there's so many
Yeah, the
different
buzz of the
levels.
latest release. Yeah, like Guess Who's Back with a new series. You don't seem to get that. You don't.
No,
You don't seem to get that.
I don't even know what's out there anymore unless it's like directly in my purview.
Yeah.
It's not the same way that it was when I was growing up in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah,
It's
comics.
not.
Yeah, maybe it was the heyday. We've seen the last of the because I feel comics as well. It's we're coming to the end of it, and I know Andy don't like it. I feel in some ways comics, the medium of it, is becoming like theater and TV. We know everything about it.
Mm.
There's so few tricks where I was lucky. I think we were all lucky to see the last of the of comics where like Watchmen came out. It was new.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
saw those new, and somewhere in 1997, a light went out slowly, and we're
Yeah.
seeing less and less new and more repeat.
Yeah.
The art is all discovered. There's no new lands to discover, and I don't mean that in a derogatory. I don't mean that
Hmm.
in a bad way. I just mean in a way that maybe are not far from the truth, where we're not in the 80s anymore.
No.
It's kind of
No, but
new ground.
the 77 has sort of broken that new ground, and obviously, bringing Penny Pentagram to their own comic as well. We've got that quartet of comics. So yeah, I'd say
There's
I
still
get,
a little land left. You say
Yeah.
there's a little
yeah,
prayer.
yeah,
I would say yes, and it's how you say it. There's new ways of saying comics. There's new ways to say an art, and it's trying to figure that out. It's trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Speaking of the comics and the time, the 97 where you're saying the light went out, I just finished reading Comic Book Punks by Carl Stock, told the whole history of British and world
Yeah.
comics. It was fascinating read. I just finished that the other day. Okay. Why don't we keep moving on? Let's move a little bit about Penny Pentagram. Vicky, do you want to take the next question?
Well, yes. Okay, so Penny Pentagram is this great comic, and it started off in the 77. But
37. Yeah.
tell us a little bit about who Penny is.
Yeah.
Because
Penny.
I mean, I love her, but
I know
tell the
you
rest of
too.
the
Let the
world
people
how
in the
you
world.
love
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
I know you too.
I love her.
And thank you for all the good things you've said about her. You have. I think Andy said it. We were talking about it last time. We always having chats, me and Andy. And this is where I'm trying to be a kind of new, where she's a continuously developing new character. She never stays in Batman world where it's always Batman fighting crime.
Yeah.
Whenever you read a new Penny, she's gone forward. She's literally got older with it. She hasn't stayed,
I
and
love
that
that.
to me seems an interesting place to go. She's growing up with each issue, literally physically, if she was physically, and I find that's kind of new ground. That's something interesting. Where in this you see I said it the other night, in these 4 issues, there's a definitive change.
Hmm.
And it'll keep changing as
Yeah.
she goes on. And what does that mean for a character? Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Isn't
I
that
like
interesting?
that.
Yeah. One thing you also said the other night was the fact that you have never actually watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but
No,
the character,
no.
the character of
I
Penny
understand
Pentagram
it.
has a little bit of that in it.
I think it's like a subconscious thing going on. I
Yeah.
must have been picking it up somewhere because I remember, and Andy shot me down in flames again. And
He
I
seems to do
wanted
that a lot.
a sing-song episode, and he said, "You're gonna have to watch this clip where Buffy did a sing-song."
Mhm.
Episode.
And
And
the
I
Buffy
didn't know.
singing episode is the best
Yeah.
singing
Yeah,
episode of
that
every
is,
very
that's a
singing
great,
good.
it's
episode
damn good
in the
episode.
history of
Yeah.
singing
I
episodes
never
ever.
knew it existed, and it's like, God damn it!
Yes.
I'm still going to do it somewhere. There's going to be a singing Buffy, not
Penny.
Buffy.
Penny, yeah, you already did yeah.
There's going to be
It's okay.
they sort of get overcome by a spell or something,
Exactly.
and they sing their way through the episode.
It's the beauty of
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
Yeah,
that
I
magic
like-
can take you anywhere and can
Yeah.
do all sorts of things.
I like the idea of just dropping her into just crazy shit and just getting over it. And because
That's
I'm writing
why
it
it's
now,
so
she's in
great.
crazy shit. She's
Oh,
this-
yes.
this what I like Penny because for her, I've committed to her changing in every issue. You see, there's a change and there's a change,
Yeah.
because that is what it is to be a human. We change
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why can't a character slightly be human and
Mhm.
they change and they
Yes.
don't go back and things go forward and go forward and go forward.
Yeah.
There's some interest, like for me, I've shown you the book. I think that is the Holy of Holies. That's got, I don't know how many Penny stories in it. And it just, to me, I'm trying to make a character that she's not like the episode before. She's slightly different.
Right.
all
Something's
the
Yeah,
time.
changed,
definitely.
something's
All the time.
evolved, something's
Yeah.
grown.
She's learned
That's
something.
the beauty of it. I love the fantastical, I love the witchcraft, I
Mhm.
love all
Mm.
of that. It's wonderful, it's great, it's rich, and it's well done. But at the same time, you can identify with the character
Yeah,
because
it has to.
and no offense, but a badass female character always identifies with me.
Just
I
try
love
to
them
make
every
a.
time.
Well, in these episodes, you find out a lot more about her family.
Mhm.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot more family.
Mm.
And I can't say it always because I want to say it, but
Don't
yeah,
say
you're gonna
it.
see it. Don't say
No,
it. Don't
Don't
say it.
say it. Don't
No
say
But
it.
spoilers.
No.
you're gonna see more of
I
why
love
she did
that
it. Why
because
is she
it
doing it?
is it's one of the reasons that I think about over the years you've got the original Sabrina, the original comic
Yeah,
book
you
Sabrina.
can't get that here. She's really hard to get hold of, Sabrina. I'd like to
Yeah.
read some of her, but I
And then
cannot
you've
get my
got
hand on it.
the original TV series, and then you have the remake
never
TV
seen
series,
that.
which is far darker.
Mhm.
The
Uh,
remake TV series, and then that last season of the TV series is, oh my God, what the heck did they
Is that
bring?
Riverdale? Is that Riverdale? Is
It's
that the
related
same
to
thing?
Riverdale.
It's in the same
It's related
universe.
to
All
yeah,
right,
same
okay,
universe.
yeah.
And the last
Wait a
season,
minute, I have a
they
question.
drank some blood,
Yeah.
and they went way off the dark.
Okay.
I love the full spectrum from Glenda the Good Witch to, how, as a matter of fact, I just started watching the Evil TV series.
Oh.
And that is like, okay, only watch that one during the day. Um,
Okay, I like Black Mass
don't
as well.
start that one at night.
That was fun.
I know it's fun and it's great and it's delicious and it's one of the things that's fun about Penny Pentagram, except
Yeah.
that at the same time I also can identify with the character
Yeah.
because it's not just this fantastical, amazing, strange character. I mean, it's a character that, that was me, 40 years ago.
Trying to get by.
Throw in a little, a little hex here and there, a little spell, a little potion, little demon, And well, okay, there might have been a little bit of that back then too. Who knew? But don't tell anyone. But it's that's one of the reasons it's so great. It's so identifiable, and it's why it works.
I've always failed to forget. It's the why. A lot of writers as well. They fail to say the why. What's her why? And so I'm specifically really leaning into that with each episode. There's like quiet moments. I was really determined to have that, where it was easy to do a wham bang, and there's got to be these why moments. Why are you doing these things? Why? And so I'm going to be leaning into that with each issue. That there's going to be these little
20. We've only got 20 pages on this first issue.
I'm going to do at least one page.
Multiple scenes going through.
You
would in a TV show or a movie, and it goes very fast. And we've got a flashback in there. We've got
It gets a little giddy. And I like the quiet moments.
Linear, isn't it? It's still it's a beginning, middle, and an end. It's very fulfilling to do it that way. But we've got Russian werewolves.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Russian. Zombie animals.
Very
minor royals.
Minor royals. She's back into. She is
very high-powered minor role.
She's back.
That's involved.
It's the world as well. It's trying to unpack the world. I like the world of magic. It's a John Constantine magic. It's that world. He's just round the corner. He's just round the corner. And it's for me, the issues that meant most when I write them is the quiet ones. I like the wind chime moments where it all matters. Steven Spielberg, when they have that quiet moment, and you find, why the hell are they doing all this for?
What's interesting as well with Penny's world is that she's 21st century, but it slightly hasn't evolved as much.
The world.
Not everyone.
It's not these mad times. It's not.
It's like harking back to a different time, but it's still definitely now. We're just creating a magical world that people aren't aware of, though. They're not aware what lives in their soup. Or...
it's a little set in Sandman world. It's slightly in that world where I loved the Sandman. I really did, and it's I didn't like the last episode. It got a bit too complicated for me, and it really did. But I like the world where it's almost a magical world, but it's not. It's almost magical.
We've got fairy queens. We've got all manner of.
That's issue 3. That will be fun. That one is. That's a gobbledygook, shoe shining writing episode. That is. I had to write backwards, forwards, and it's he's good as gold.
Oh, that sounds fabulous.
It's there's lots of little clues. I like Easter eggs. So there's little Easter eggs coming through.
I think what this allows us as well, as David's making very clear, is he's putting far more work into it than just doing a monthly title.
Right.
It's got. It's got to be rich. It's got to mean something. It's got to mean something. And it's about her developing as a character as well. Her developing. And Rafe as well. He's an important character as well. He is. There's a few revelations coming his way as well. And it's just it's also bungling all together and having fun as well. I like writing myself into slight corners and not getting out of the corner and creating at the door and going into the next scene.
Sonic screwdriver, anybody? Sonic screwdriver.
There you go.
Yeah, it is.
I love that.
Thank you,
That's
Andrew.
perfect.
It's writing
Well-
yourself into a. I'm doing it now. Literally, I'm writing myself into a corner.
Oh,
Literally, and it's. I know where it's
And then you
going.
make your own doorway. So you know, the
Yeah.
heck with that.
They
Yeah.
are literally. Yeah, and that's Penny as well. This is. Yeah, and there's a new character in issue 2. He's been an absolute joy to write. He's been an. Oh my god, he's so much fun. AK, the little. Wait till I get my hands on him. He's the world's greatest hacker, and he's
Oh,
12
okay.
years old,
Ooh.
and he's got an IQ of about 300. And
Okay.
he's a-
That's
Uh-oh,
okay.
we're in trouble now.
Definitely.
But he still has
I
to
love
go
writing
home to
him.
tea.
He's one of the characters. I just love writing him. I love writing him. It's just so much fun to write. He is,
All right.
because he's so chopsy. He's so chopsy.
Yeah.
And
But
yeah,
what I love about what we're doing is that David's he's basically writing a novel with
Yeah.
every 20
yeah,
Right.
the squeeze.
Right.
Yeah, I think it is actually.
That actually brings up something. One of the things I was reading when I was reading all the Penny Pentagram stuff, I remember you wrote The Little Guardian, which was a little novella that came out with Pandora. And I was thinking, about which do you like? Do you like to write prose? Do you like comic writing better? But you're saying
you
now
you read that story, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I
great,
did.
thank you.
Several times.
They're little winks. They are, but just little winks. A
Alright.
wink across the dance floor. It's yeah, they were fun. They were fun. Yeah, Black Cat. You read the Black Cat one on New Year's Eve? Is it New Year's Eve?
Ooh.
Christmas Eve.
Have I seen it? I have not read that one yet. No.
Yeah, that was a nice one. I like. Yeah, I like these
One we
baby.
yeah,
I don't believe I've read that
Nice.
either.
No.
Didn't you read the New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve?
No.
They're telling
No.
good story. Yeah,
So
Oh.
we've got a little pile of a very rare.
they were
document.
fun.
No,
They were fun.
these are being offered on the Kickstarter.
Ooh.
Mm.
Okay.
How many did
My
you do?
big bundle, my big bad bundle. This is something that David and I did. Was it 3-4 years ago?
Pretty much. Yeah. How many did we do? I can't remember.
We didn't do anything with it. We just did them as a
Yeah, but
gift to each
how
other.
many books did we do? We did 3.
We've done 2 of the small ones.
Two.
2 of these little ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still need to read that one because I've only read The Little Guardian.
And it's such a
Same
little
here.
4 pages.
Yeah, well, a
Nice.
novella. Yeah.
It was our
There's
Christmas
a baby novella.
A baby novella. Yeah.
So I sent them a batch of them, and I think they're both, they're all still in our sock drawers.
In the
Or where-
grotto.
There'll be a little pile.
Yeah, we should try and put them in the issue, maybe.
Yeah.
'Cause they're
There
only
you go.
a page and a half. I think they're 2 pages at a squeeze. They're just they're a taster. They're a wee drama, no more. They're just a shot. They're just a shot of a little story. Yeah, the haunted comic book shop.
That's why I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it for that
Yes.
reason.
Yeah, comic book shop.
Clearly, you guys put so much heart and soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
into
Oh, yeah.
everything you do.
But I
and I think
think
that's why the quality
Yeah.
is so good.
I think for every line you've seen, 10 lines got thrown out.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's sort of like as a big boiling pot down as it gets. You if you saw it originally, it's like a movie. It
Right.
started off at 4 hours long, and
Yes.
hacks and slashes it down to
And
hour.
you had to get it down to 90 minutes.
So yeah, I always bring in big operas, and he brings them back to earth again.
All right. All right, Andrew, I have a question for you. And it's a pretty simple question. You were not the original artist on Penny Pentagram, but you came in when the switch over to Pandora happened. What brought you to that role? What was it about Penny Pentagram that you wanted to be the new artist?
Well, it was actually on the annual one.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
And it was, as I say, it was still the heart of lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
Still
Yeah.
lockdown. And Ben contacted me, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and we're looking for a new artist on Penny. And then he put me in touch with David. And if I'm honest, that's why I wanted to work
Mm-hmm.
on Penny, because it was work with David.
Yeah, it
David's
was a good
he's a fantastic.
conversation. Yeah, we hit the ground running.
Yeah.
We literally.
Yeah.
I think it was just a natural progression. It was a dovetail in. I haven't looked back. I haven't looked back.
It's like with my daily sketches, I'd always draw building.
Right.
Same with female characters. I seem to be doing are female characters, which is fantastic. It's refreshing, and they're obviously hard to draw.
Right.
But try not to. I mean, things like Mad Girl that I did with Roger.
Oh, I love that. Yeah,
it was good.
Was sexier. Whereas I love about Penny is that's the furthest away.
Yeah.
She's just a cool teenage, she can call herself a dirtbag. And doesn't mind wearing a chicken suit.
For £40.
And that's always important. That's the most important part. It's the chicken suit.
Get out with a chicken suit.
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying the way that we develop it. We've had little snippets. We've done 4 individual stories, including lols.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've got this opportunity. And as I say, David and I were like, we need to do a long form.
Mm-hmm.
And then because Jo's magical, she went, lads, do you want to do a long form? We're like, yeah. Yeah. We're having that conversation now.
No choice.
Are you hello, testing?
Jo waved her magic wand.
I just wanted to echo what you said about that first initial call with David. David, I could listen to you for forever talking about the supernatural and the paranormal.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Andy. We both, I would say we all have that love of, for example, in the 80s, or was it it was the 80s, PG Tips, a tea company, used to put out little cards every now and again. You could have wildlife cards, but they also put out a series of the paranormal and supernatural. Okay. And I've actually, and it came with a book. So when you collected all these cards, and I'd be sharing them at school, we'd all be like, have you got the ghostly hands, or have you got the faces of Belmers, that type of thing. But I've got a copy of that, and it was just really, really refreshing to have David and Andy sort of on the same wavelength.
Now I've got those cards as well. So I collected the tea cards. But as Jo was saying, they were, there'd be footballers or birds. But then one year they had the supernatural.
That is so cool.
With all the different genres of the occult and the bizarre and the Fortean. When Jo and I first started talking, it's like, have you seen this? He's going, I've got that too. I was the only weirdo that liked that one. But then the same with David.
Yeah.
It's all
we're all on the same page. There's no explaining to anyone. I don't want to explain anything. I couldn't. It's easy. It's easy. It's easy talking. There's no stress, and I think it'd be interesting to try and fire up a more paranormal UK comic scene as well. That'd be fun. Mm-hmm. We haven't had that in a long one.
Well, we've got 3 of us. That's a start.
That's a start. I think there's room for it.
We've got This Comic is Haunted, don't forget.
Yeah.
Which you've actually produced some work for.
Yeah, we did 4. There's 4 pages. Yeah, we did.
The thing with David is that there's so much going on. He can't remember everything.
I can't remember anything. All right.
Okay, here's something. Let's see if you remember this, because you worked on this together. Strange Brew. What? Tell.
Yeah, Andy.
Oh, Andy? Okay, Andy.
Andy.
Strange Brew. Talk about Strange Brew.
So we put together this comic Strange Brew because we had so many stories that David and I had completed for other publishers, and they didn't really go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They just went fallow, and it's like, well, let's put a book together. But we're hoping that one of the characters, Oracle,
Mm-hmm.
Oh
she
yeah.
may go elsewhere.
Right.
Yeah, we saw that. Yeah.
There's talks about her going in
That's Mac.
in another. So we'll see. We're going to see what. Yeah, got a supernatural character. There's a superhero. There's sort of Indiana Jones character. There's a bit of a sci-fi.
Yeah, I like that one.
Back. But this, so Strange Brew is part of starter. We're offering this as our big deal, the Richmond Relics deal, Richmond Rewards. So we've got lots of interesting things that people haven't seen. People haven't seen it.
Yeah, there's quite a few. It's quite chunky in it. There's quite a bit in there.
Yeah.
Remember, there's a complete 20-page story in it, and
I think the way that we do these things, myself and David, is we just want to have a physical. We're going to take it off of the hard drive.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't go into Kickstarter or it doesn't necessarily go into shops, we like the esoteric. We like strange things that.
It's all there for the taking. We'll what was it next year? Because Penny is basically, for me now. Penny's a big chunk of my writing now. It's a big chunk.
I was wondering if there was another reason you called it Strange Brew, Mr. Thomas, Mr. Dave Thomas, Rick Moranis, Dave Thomas.
It was Andy's idea.
Okay.
It was Andy.
Cool.
It's always Andy.
All right.
There was a band in the 60s and 70s called The Doors of Perception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strange Brew.
Is that the Doors, or are we thinking the Cream? We're thinking Cream, actually.
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But that's okay. I'll give you a pass on that.
How can we remember that? How can we be expected to remember stuff?
I don't remember last week. I don't know about y'all.
No.
You had mentioned, Andrew, your sketch a day, and I remember you doing sketch a day, which brings me to the question you must know I'm going to ask about sketch a day and the time. Yes, it is. What is going on for Doctober? Do you need me?
Shall we do it?
We should do Doctober. We should do the one we were going to do last year.
You gave me the list.
Yeah, you have the list. I'll just send me because I don't have a copy of it anymore. Send me the copy of the list. I will start writing things so we have it for the booklet.
No. Can you send me a copy of the list?
Oh, okay. Folks, we're gonna have to figure this out after the show. We'll do it. We'll do this. Sounds good.
I reckon I've got a list somewhere.
Okay, I have it somewhere too. I just gotta find it.
Figure it out.
I think I gave you like 42 or 40, 42 different things, and you had narrowed it down to 31. It was about the robots.
31.
It was robots. It was androids and robots, if I remember correctly, of Doctor Who.
An interest, because you were saying that certain characters can't be included.
Yeah.
Because they're not
right. So like then you couldn't use a Dalek because that's not a robot, and you couldn't use a Cyberman because technically that's a cyborg. Well, I mean we'll have to talk about this. We'll talk about this.
Just how picky are we going to get?
I mean, he already did the monsters and they were in those. So I was trying to come up with different characters.
Trying to expand
it.
So in Mary Shelley's book, who's the monster?
Frankenstein is the monster, not the monster.
Dr. Frankenstein.
Frankenstein is the monster.
Yeah.
But they're to confuse
I wrote a whole thesis on that.
Yeah, so people like to, play with the form, so we can have dialects. We'll squeeze that in. I
Okay.
think even though I'm the busiest I've ever been.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we've got to, give it its due because it is a lovely little book.
Oh,
Mr.
wow. Look at that.
Sin, and on the left, I can't even see it in this. Oh, it's Zarby. I was just watching a Web Planet the other day. I enjoyed that episode. I know that people they didn't. Ooh,
Oh, wow.
Some nice ones. So I did classic Who.
Yeah.
Yes.
Silence on one side.
But Mark, I'm a sucker. I because it's on iPlayer, it's on loop constantly. So
Yeah.
I think I must have watched what's on iPlayer 4 or 5 times now. Just start with Hartnell.
Yeah.
Go through it. I think I'm on Horror of Fang Rock at the moment.
Good episode. Very good episode. We talked about all your other works, but talk about some of your other stuff you've done.
So I think I got a second win for it all in lockdown when we had to decide what are we going to do. You're going to be off work for 2 weeks. That became a month.
Yeah.
We were furloughed in this country. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate to be doing my sketch a day, so that was keeping me going. Yeah. And then I was like, what about the comics? And I contacted Zarjaz, the Future Quake guys at the time. And I ended up doing a Judge Dredd, Judge Death strip, and lots of, But I think as we evolved, we started to realize that it is amateur press and comics. And with the Kickstarters that we're involved in, the creators get a little bit of money, only a little bit. Nothing to bother the tax man about, my lord. But as David says, it's a Tesco shop. You get a Tesco shop for doing it. So I've ended up doing art editing on 4 issues of Blazer for the 77.
Nice.
I do 2 of the 77. I did annual 1 and 2. We now 3 issues of This Comic is Haunted.
Yeah, yes, there are 3. I think there's a Halloween special coming out soon. Yeah,
obviously Pandora. I've got so many other things. I've got Gideon Gunn that I co-created with a friend in Bath.
Right.
Which again needs some time from me.
Yeah.
We just don't have the time. I've had to, I've decided, right, Penny's. I've also, with Roger, we came up with another strip, which we came up ourselves, which is amazing. And I actually drew the issue, but Roger has now gone, I think we can do it a bit differently. So he's like, can you do some more pages? And I'm like, oh, we're so close. So unfortunately, it's gone to the bottom of the pile slightly. But we'll revisit that one.
All right.
It's got werewolves in it. It's got vampires in it.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
What?
It's cool stuff. It's all cool stuff. Black and White is a black and white horror magazine. Basically, that was the plan.
What is Ghost Goose?
Ghost Goose was something that. So there's a British writer called Kek W.
Yeah, I've seen him in 2000 AD, I think. Yeah.
So he writes Dead World for 2000 AD.
Yeah.
And he put up on Facebook before Christmas asking, if anybody would like to get involved to do a comic. And he was telling me that he had so many people saying, what's in it for me? What's your rates? What you're paying the artist? And he went, nothing. It's just a fun thing. We collaborated on it, and it's a fun pamphlet. Again, plain.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know. Did you pick one of these up, Vicky, when you're at Lawless?
I didn't. How did I not do that?
Oh.
I was sat there chatting to you.
See, that was the problem. I was too busy having fun with you guys. I missed some of the good stuff.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily a comic. It's just a little, again, illustrated story. It's the same size as Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We create this like little. I have
miniature book. It's a miniature book club here.
I have a thing for detail and for sort of, and each one of these books has got a tactile cover as well.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now, Penny Pentagram is bigger than that, right? That's
Penny Pentagram's an American format.
You got
American
the 77. You got the 77 stuff. You got and then you got those ones you're doing, and then you've got the regular penny size.
Yes.
Yeah. So it'll fit on my bag and board. The bag and boards I have, it'll fit in. I don't have to go and buy anything special.
No, penny will, and it's also got a spine on it as well. So it's not perfect bound.
Oh, it's got a spine.
It's not a spine. It's
not a spine.
Not a spine. It's
gotcha.
not.
It's just a staple thing that whatever it is. It
used to be feel and look very much like an American comic book, right?
That works.
Yeah. So this one.
Snippets. Yeah.
Snippets was again that's stapled.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we were saying we're just talking stuff now. Strange Brew has a spine.
Right. So with the spine is like a what would they call it back in the 80s? That would be the prestige format. Prestige format. So so this comic and it's prestige format. So so Strange Brew was prestige format. Penny Pentagram is comic book.
It's a comic book.
Cool. I like comic books.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking before about why do we choose that format, and I just think it's a natural format for her.
Mm-hmm.
As I say, I like doing digest-sized comics.
Yeah,
the small manga sort of books. I just like playing with the form.
I love it because you got a little of everything going on there.
And I can see, anthologies make sense being a bigger book, but a single story, a standalone character, a story character seems to fit into a comic book. So I do like that.
And also there's the option at the end of collecting the 80 pages into a trade.
Into a yes. Yeah.
But be careful with the G word.
I almost said the G word. I'm not going to say it.
I almost
said it. Almost came out of my mouth. We'll stop right there.
Novels. There are some, obviously, but it's it can be a contentious way of calling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's typically a comic.
Yeah.
I love that though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got to. I've got to pull my finger out and finish the art of Penny.
Okay.
We're getting there. I'm about 80% done.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm a little bit more forward than the Kickstarter is.
Mm-hmm.
I think we said
you're a smidge ahead of the Kickstarter.
I'm a bit ahead of the Kickstarter. But we're getting there.
Right.
And then myself, David, and Joe will edit Penny down. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm segueing back in.
Oh no, go ahead. This is the Penny Pentagram special.
This is all about
we can
Penny,
talk about Penny. Yeah.
Penny.
Spend a penny. Well, don't, because that's just wrong.
Penny, a good penny.
Yeah, that would not be good.
But also, fun thing. So this is going to be offered on the Kickstarter, and this is limited edition lino print that I designed.
That
my
is
wife,
very cool.
Yeah,
has done the print of, and it is nice. It's a nice object. So that's on the Kickstarter, as are the magician cards.
I was actually I'm thinking of upgrading for either that or the T-shirt, Andrew.
That's nice.
Now the T-shirt, is it just the pentagram, or is there going to be more to it than just what's shown on the screen on the Kickstarter page?
I wanted it to be a cosplay T-shirt.
Okay.
So
you could go as Penny.
Go as Penny, so it would just be the pentagram. Okay.
As in, my well, she's not a teenage daughter anymore. She's 20.
Yeah.
But she'd love wearing it. She's spooky.
Yeah.
In fact, her sister calls her spooky.
I love it. That's
I'm not
perfect.
going to say that.
Yeah.
Well, she's got blue hair and covered in tattoos.
Well, okay.
Why
All
not?
right. Why not? Now, Dave, you said you wanted to talk more about Penny Pentagram. You mentioned something about realism in your comic.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, there's something that slightly crosses over into the real world. It breaks the veil. And so yeah, I invented a band that helps Penny and Rafe. I can't tell the thing, but there's a band in there, and it's a really cool band, Daughters of the Tour. And me and Andy were talking about it, and I did the lyrics because they sing a song in it. There's a segment where I think for a minute, do you ever see it in the movies where back in the 80s where they break off and the band would do a song and then they would go back to plot? Well, we get a element of that going on. There's a moment where we just see the band playing and they do this crazy, crazy song.
So you do have a musical version of Penny in there. It's like Once More with Feeling from Buffy. You've got a band in there. You do. Just is Penny going to sing, or can you not tell us?
No.
She's not a member. She's just watching the band. She's not.
And so this band. Do you ever see it in the 80s? Where
no, I do. Yes.
Kind of goes on to the band.
Yeah.
So that was a homage to that. And so yeah, it's just really punk Sinead O'Connor thing going on.
Ooh,
and who I once met and got chatting to. I did talk to her, and Andy came up with this really weird, strange, magical idea, and I let him explain it. And it's so cool.
So, I've mentioned my daughters before.
Yeah.
So they're obviously grown up, so we see them every couple of weeks or whatever. And I said, do you fancy reading our comic? Because David and I, David's written a song or the lyrics to a song, and would you record it? And then can I, reference you and we'll have you in the band?
Yeah.
But the three sisters in the Daughters of the Tour, and my three daughters are 23, 20, and 2 3/4.
Right.
2 3/4 one, we're going to magically turn her into a 16-year-old. So think Hanson.
Oh no!
Yeah, it is literally.
Mbop.
No!
And
as in its three siblings.
No, I got you. I right. That's your only pass on that one. If it was gonna be Hanson, no.
No. But it's that.
But it's the family, the three siblings. Yeah.
Or the Partridge family, or the Nolan sisters.
Yeah.
There's no cool. Well, they all know.
No, I think it's a really interesting. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, so we're going to put them. It's going to be a paper.
They're in the band,
and we're going to have a QR code in issue 2 of them. So I've just asked my daughters if she'll just scream over a guitar and drum track.
Oh, that's brilliant!
So there's a real song.
As a little Easter egg, we can have we could hopefully just have Penny holding a flyer with a QR code.
I like that.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Before, and you should just or Rafe going, "What's this then?" and just holding, close to the logo.
Well, they go to a nightclub, so yeah. I think it's magical. I think it's new. It's that thing I slightly yearn for, that new area in comics. What's this new thing slightly going on? And so that's a little of that. That's a little of that.
But obviously, what David and I would love to be doing is to be doing Penny as a monthly or as a week.
Oh yeah.
So many stories.
Well, let's see how this one does. Let's see how the 4 issues go. This miniseries, you might go and do it monthly.
Well, it sets up lovely for it. So I'm hedging my bets. I won't say why, but yeah, I'm hedging my bets.
Okay.
I hope that helps. We're being a bit cagey about it all.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, I just don't want to spoil a surprise.
Yeah, you don't want spoilers. Spoilers are horrible.
Yeah, it's it's been fun. This is like a very rich story. It's like a whisper trying to not to force itself into a scream, because we've been holding so back on Penny, and then suddenly you get an opportunity of 4 issues,
right?
And I'm sort of screaming from the rooftops, saying, sort of jumping off crazy. Where I'm sure if it was like a DC comic, they would have dragged it out for 9 parts.
Yeah,
So it's a lot of it's very rich.
They stretch it for 9 parts and then it doesn't do well and they cancel it after 4 issues.
Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere.
Right. I have a problem with those maxi series sometimes.
I mentioned earlier the furlough and lockdown. If only had this then, we would have been doing a monthly,
Yeah, we would have been in a.
But life gets in the way.
Yeah,
does get in the way. As I said, I've got a toddler, and she takes up a lot of old man energy. A lot of my magical
energy. I don't like that saying.
Well, when you get to our age, it's a challenge.
It's harder and harder to be hip.
Yeah.
It's harder and harder to be hip.
All right.
I hate it so much.
They struggle to be hip, and
I hate it.
They're probably old people now, aren't they?
We're like 100 years of collective knowledge. Plus, I don't know, and I don't know how old you are, Mark, but there could be like a potential.
150 something.
But yeah, it's just having fun, basically. When it's not fun, if I can't talk to Andy at least once a week, and he holds me back on stuff, and it's like he's always holding me back. Then what? I don't know why comics, they sort of hack it out. I don't know why they do it. I really don't. How can you hack out a comic? Oh, no. Can you do it?
All right, guys, we do have to stop here. We're running out of time, but we have to do some housekeeping. Yes, our usual housekeeping. Ben, of course, is not here. So, Jo, will you please take over for the 77?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're talking about Pandora Presents Penny Pentagram. You can go to the Kickstarter. We've got 26 days to go. We're well en route to actually reaching the goal, which is 1977.
Yeah, I just looked. We're at, as of time of recording, it's 61%.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's done amazing over the weekend, and you can get there. It's on my own account, so it's Pandora1/Pandora-Presents-Penny-Pentagram. You can bypass
that's
all that.
I was going to say that's complicated.
Yeah, just bypass that and just put Penny Pentagram in, and
in
you'll
the search
get
bar.
there. Just to also say, we do actually have a half-price digital sale on the 77comic.net. So do, if you want to check out what we've done in the past, we've got half-price 77 digital editions, we've got half-price digital annuals, and we've also got a half-price digital lifeboat by Ian Gibson. And you can also get a digital Pandora. So you'll be able to see Penny in her other home, which was the Pandora comic.
All right. Excellent. And of course, there are all those Facebook groups that they can join. Now my turn for housekeeping. Or Vicky, should I do it or do you want to do housekeeping today?
You can do the housekeeping.
Thank you so much. All right. Vicky and I do a show called MarkWHO42's Universe. Our base is MarkWHO42.com, but you can find it all over the interweb thingy on podcast platforms. It's science fiction. Yeah, I mean, Mark Who, you'd think Doctor Who, and it used to be all Doctor Who, but we've expanded our horizons now, and we talk all science fiction, though we did just review the new season that was just ended. Also, you can go to YouTube to @MarkWHO42, and there's a playlist of all our old shows all the way back to about 2012, which have over 100 and I'd say 150 interviews with celebrities from Doctor Who, Star Trek, Babylon 5, all those kind of places. All right. Oh, and of course, remember, guys, if you like this show, or if please hit subscribe and like down there. If you, I don't know if you can see that down there. Yes, you can. I think it's blocking the bottom people on the screen right now. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so yeah, that's all the time. I like to thank Andrew, David, and Joe for filling in for Ben. I really appreciate you guys coming here.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
problem.
All right. Bye.
Bye.